Before Jesus died, something very important happened during the Jewish festival called Passover. Jesus and his 12 disciples went to a room in Jerusalem to eat their last meal together. This meal is called the Last Supper. They sat at the table and ate bread and drank wine together. But Jesus knew something sad was about to happen. He said to them, "One of you will betray me." The disciples were shocked. One by one they asked, "Lord, is it me?" One disciple named Judas Iscariot was the one who planned to betray Jesus. He had already agreed to show the leaders where Jesus was. During the meal, Jesus took the bread, thanked God, broke it, and gave it to his disciples. Then he said the bread was a symbol of his body. Then he took a cup of wine and said it was a symbol of his blood, which would be given for many people. Jesus was teaching them about the sacrifice he would soon make. After the meal, they sang a hymn together and walked to a place called Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus knew very difficult things were about to happen, but he trusted God. Jesus' death, Part 2. Jesus is arrested. After the meal, Jesus went with his disciples to a quiet place called the Garden of Gethsemane, near Jerusalem. Jesus felt very sad and troubled because he knew the suffering that was coming. He told his disciples, "Stay here and pray." Then Jesus went a little farther away and prayed to God the Father. He prayed with all his heart, asking for strength to do God's will. While Jesus was praying, his disciples became tired and fell asleep. When Jesus came back and saw them sleeping, he said, "Could you not stay awake and pray with me?" Soon after that, something happened. A group of soldiers and temple guards came into the garden with torches and weapons. They were led by Judas Iscariot, the disciple who had agreed to betray Jesus. Judas had told the soldiers how they could recognize Jesus. He walked up to Jesus and greeted him with a kiss. This kiss was the sign to the soldiers. Then the soldiers stepped forward and arrested Jesus Christ. The disciples became afraid. Most of them ran away and hid, but Jesus did not fight or run. He allowed himself to be taken away because he knew this was part of God's plan to save people. Jesus' death, Part 3. Jesus is put on trial. After the soldiers arrested Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, they took him back to Jerusalem. There, the religious leaders gathered together. The high priest at that time was Caiaphas. They wanted to accuse Jesus of doing wrong things. Many people came and told stories about him, but their stories did not match. Finally, the high priest asked Jesus a direct question. "Are you the Son of God?" Jesus answered truthfully that he was the Son of God. When the leaders heard this, they became very angry. They said Jesus had spoken something they believed was wrong, and they decided he should be punished. But the Jewish leaders could not order a death sentence themselves under Roman rule. So they took Jesus to the Roman governor named Pontius Pilate. Pilate asked Jesus questions. He could not find that Jesus had done anything wrong. Still, many people in the crowd were shouting loudly for Jesus to be punished. Pilate was unsure what to do. Part 4. The Roman soldiers witnessed Jesus' death. As Jesus Christ hung on the cross, the Roman soldiers stood nearby, watching everything. They had carried out many executions before, but this one felt different. The sky suddenly grew dark, and the land became quiet. Jesus spoke with love, even asking God to forgive those who hurt him. The soldiers listened in surprise. When Jesus finally died, the ground shook, and they became afraid. One of the soldiers said, "Truly, this was the Son of God." Part 5. Jesus is buried. After Jesus died, a man named Joseph of Arimathea asked for his body. He carefully took Jesus down from the cross. Jesus was wrapped in clean cloth and placed in a tomb cut out of rock. A large stone was rolled in front of the entrance to close it. Guards were placed at the tomb to watch over it so no one could enter.
Here is Part 6. Jesus' death. After Jesus Christ died on the cross, something very powerful and unexpected happened. The Roman guards were standing there, watching everything carefully. Suddenly, the earth started shaking an earthquake. The sky became dark. Everything felt frightening and unnatural. The guards were shocked and afraid. They realized that this was not a normal death. One of the guards, a centurion, said something very important. Surely this was the Son of God at that moment. The guards understood that Jesus was truly special, not just an ordinary man. They had been watching to make sure no one caused trouble, but instead, they witnessed something that changed how they felt inside. They became afraid, amazed, and respectful.
Here are part 7. The women visit the tomb and Jesus rises. Early morning visit. Very early on the third day, some women went to the tomb of Jesus Christ. Some of them were Mary Magdalene, other women who loved and followed Jesus. They were going to take care of his body with spices. As they walked, they wondered, who will move the big stone for us? Something shocking. When they arrived, they saw something amazing. The stone was already rolled away. The tomb was open. The guards were gone. They were confused and a little afraid. The angel appears. Suddenly, they saw an angel. The angel said, "Do not be afraid. Jesus is not here. He has risen." The angel told them, Jesus is alive again. He is not in the tomb anymore. They should go and tell the disciples, Jesus is alive. The women were filled with shock, joy, hope. As they hurried away, Jesus Christ appeared to them. He said, "Do not be afraid." They realized it was really him. Jesus had risen from the dead, just as he promised. What this means? This moment is called the resurrection. It shows that Jesus has power over death. His promise was true. There is hope and new life. Here is part 8. What happened after Jesus rose and went to heaven? Jesus appears to his followers. After rising from the dead, Jesus Christ did not go to heaven immediately. For about 40 days, he appeared to his followers many times. He talked with them. He ate with them. He showed them his hands to prove he was really alive. At first, they were surprised and even confused, but then they believed with joy. He gives them a mission. Before leaving, Jesus told his disciples to spread his message to the whole world, to teach people about love, forgiveness, and God. This gave them a purpose and courage. Jesus goes up to heaven. One day, Jesus took his followers to a place near Mount of Olives. Then something amazing happened. Jesus blessed them. He began to rise up into the sky. A cloud hid him from their sight. This is called the ascension, the promise. As they were watching, angels told them, Jesus will come again someday. What it means? This moment shows Jesus is alive and with God. His mission continues through his followers. There is a promise of hope for the future. Wait for part 9. Here is part 9, what the disciples did after Jesus went to heaven. They waited and prayed. After Jesus Christ went up to heaven, his disciples didn't just go home. They stayed together in Jerusalem, prayed and encouraged each other, waited for what Jesus had promised. The Holy Spirit comes. Soon after, during a special time, something amazing happened. The Holy Spirit came upon them. This event is called Pentecost. It was like a strong wind. They felt bold and full of courage. They could speak in different languages. Now they were no longer afraid. They started preaching. The disciples began to tell everyone that Jesus Christ is alive, about his love and forgiveness, about the resurrection. Thousands of people started to believe. They spread everywhere. Later, the disciples traveled to many places, different cities and countries, telling people about Jesus. Even when it was hard or dangerous, they stayed brave and faithful. What it means? Jesus' work didn't stop. His followers continued his mission. This is how Christianity began to spread. Now at end of the story, Jesus' death. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, everyone.